My name is Janet Tom, and I'm with the Vegetarian Society, and I also happen to be a member of the San Francisco Living Foods Group. We meet every second Sunday of the month in San Francisco. I live in Japantown, and it's over at our co-op community room. Today, one of our members is going to make you a beautiful salad with sprouts, and it's something that she eats every day, and it's simple and delicious. So we're glad you're here, and we want you all to welcome May.
Hi, nice to see you. Thank you. So I'm not a raw food chef, okay? I'm just a regular person who's been making salads for a long time. And I'm not 100% raw. I'm probably more like 80%. But I consider a salad an important thing that I have every day. And I've learned to put a lot of different things in salads that, you know, when you start going raw, you realize you start eating a lot of salads, and it can get pretty boring. So, you know, mainstream idea of a salad is iceberg with some cucumber and tomato, and that's about it, right? So, so what I do is I try to put a lot of nutritional, you know, different things to get nutrition from different types of food. I don't like to take a lot of supplements, because I think there's just a lot of stuff in food that we don't even know about yet that we really need. So when I pick out lettuce, I always look for the dark lettuce, because I learned that the dark lettuce has more nutrition, and it's not true of other vegetables, but it is true of lettuce. So another thing I have in here, I have watercress, which I buy every week. It has a lot of minerals. It has a really strong flavor that I don't really like, but I find if I mix it in a salad with a dressing, it's very palatable. And you can get it at, I get it at Rainbow. This is the type I get. Sometimes you can get it at a farmer's market. A lot of noise there. Okay.
I agree with you 100% on watercress, because kale is not king. Watercress is king, and purslane is the greens that have the most nutrition.
Oh, I'm glad you brought up purslane, because I do put that in also.
Where's a good place to get that? In Connecticut, it grows out with grass.
Oh, well, it grows here too. Actually, there's a lady at the Alamany Farmers Market that I go to. Her name's her stand is called Two Dogs. It's Two Dogs Farm, and she has it. I can't always get it. It's kind of seasonal.
What are you talking about?
Purslane. Do you know what purslane is? Well, Purslane. You know, I have some in here. I'm sure I do. Well, no, actually, it'll be in the salad that's going to be handed out. I don't actually have it here. But, you know, to most people, it's just a weed, actually. So, but it has a lot of important omega. I think it's omega-3. I'm not sure. And that's quite good, and I eat it in my salads. I make green smoothies in the morning. That's how I start out my morning. And I don't like putting the purslane in the smoothies, because it makes it kind of slimy. So, you know, it's sort of interesting. What I do is I try to get a lot of different greens, and I figure out which ones work best in salads and which ones work best in green drinks. I personally don't like eating kale salads, but I love it in a green drink. So I always make sure I either get kale or collards in my green drinks every day.
What kind of knife is that you're using?
Oh, yeah. Okay, this is a ceramic knife. It's my absolute favorite knife for cutting vegetables with.
What's it called?
It's a ceramic knife. And like if you cut an apple with it, it won't make it turn brown, because it's not metal. It does, so, you know, some people can taste when their food's cut with metal. And it's very sharp, and it's really good for like cutting tomatoes and anything delicate. And it's not, I've never broken one. I have dropped it 2 or 3 times, so they're a lot sturdier than you think. You rarely sharpen them. They can be sharpened, but like even when they get nicked, they still cut really well. This particular one, which I kind of recommend, it's a Cuisinart. I got it at Bed Bath & Beyond. It was like $29. If you have the coupon, you can get it for $26. It's really cheap because Kyocera sells them, and they're a lot more expensive. And on top of it, it comes with a sheath that you can put on your knife to protect it, because you have to put it in your drawer. I don't recommend putting it in those knife blocks, because if you hit the handle, you can crack the ceramic. So I always put it flat in a drawer, and this is very handy.
I think you have to send it back to the company to sharpen it.
Yeah, I actually know someone who sharpened it for me. I don't know how they do it, but I've actually never sent my knives back to get them sharpened. So, they last a long time without being sharpened. Another green that I really love in my salads are dandelions, particularly the red dandies, because the stems aren't as tough. The white dandelions have tougher stems, and they're okay for juicing, but for salads, I like the red dandies.
The kind of grown in the yard?
Yes, they are.
They are kind of grown.
They are, but you wouldn't want to eat the ones in the yard because they're probably not grown with a lot of nutrients and stuff. And you don't know, what's been on them or what's in your soil. Like in the city, you can't trust, there's arsenic and lead in the soil. But so the red dandies have a bitter taste, and I've grown really accustomed to it. And sometimes what I do with these stems, I'll put them in my juicer too. But I also like them cut up in the salad. So yeah, they're kind of bitter, but when they're mixed up with other salads and a dressing, they actually, to me, especially with a creamy dressing, they create a nice contrast. Like a creamy dressing with avocado and, yeah. So let's see. Another thing I put in my salad here is cilantro. I find some people either love it or they hate it. But I like it. It's supposed to get rid of heavy metals in your system. And I never had it growing up, but as soon as I started eating it when I was a young adult, I just loved it. So. And I chop things really small because I eat a lot of salad. I eat a big salad, and I just find it's easier to eat if it's chopped up in smaller sizes. So let's see, what else? Oh, another thing I really like in my salad, you can really experiment, like I love bok choy. And I like to get the mature bok choy that's got the big stalks, because they add a lot of crunch and juice to the salad. And I find that the leaves really aren't that tough. They're actually quite chewable. You don't have to massage them like you do with kale or anything. And so, well, what people do to make kale palatable is they'll do stuff like, I think, put vinegar or lemon juice on it and sort of massage it to soften it up when they want to put it in a kale salad. I have made kale salads, but yeah, that's kind of what you do. So I've got green butter lettuce. Oh yeah, and this is a frise. If you go to the farmer's market, and I highly recommend you do, you'll find a lot of different lettuces. And one of them is frise. And I had a rapini. I had a blonde rapini, which...
Zucchini, not zucchini?
I'm sorry, no, not zucchini. Yeah, it's called rapini.
Zucchini?
I think it's rapini, yeah. R-A-P-I-N-I, something like that. Yeah, I'm sorry, but it looked a lot like the red butter lettuce, and when I was mixing it this morning, I'm sure some of it's in your salad. It kind of looks like a red butter lettuce. And it's the blonde variety. The lady who sold it to me told me it's a little sweeter than other kinds. And, oh yeah, another thing I always put in, I always put in romaine because it's a stronger lettuce. It gives it more body. Like a lot of times, a lot of these different lettuces are really kind of flimsy, and when you're eating them, you kind of feel like you're not eating enough or something. So the romaine makes it a little more substantial. And I think that's one of the reasons I like to put in the broccoli stalks, is because it's another crunch thing. I guess growing up with iceberg lettuce, you feel you need something crunchy. So if any of you have any questions that you would like addressed while I'm doing this, well, the one I got is sort of sweet, but I couldn't tell you beyond that.
Lettuce?
It's kind of like a lettuce. It looks like a red butter lettuce.
Is like bitters? No.
I think it can be bitter, but that particular variety is sweeter.
Is this amount an individual portion?
Oh yeah. Oh, so when you put a lot of different ingredients into a salad, it's a lot of fuss, right? And I have a full-time job. I leave early in the morning. I don't get home till late at night. So what I do is I make enough salad for like 4 days, and I fill up this. So this is like 4 days when I'm through with it. And, it's not as fresh on the 4th day as I would like it to be, but with my busy schedule, it's just to have to pull out all these different stuff every day. It's too much.
You put the dressing on at the last minute?
That's right. I put the dressing on at the last minute. I cut up avocados, tomatoes, those things I put on at the last minute. And what else? Oh yeah, and sometimes at the store you can get dulse flakes. I like to throw that on top. Just dulse, D-U-L-S-E, dulse flakes. It's like that way you get some seaweed, and it kind of salts the salad a little if you want it a little salty. I just like the seaweed. And there's also stuff I've seen, like at Rainbow, they've got something called a salad booster, which might be similar. It probably has like dulse and maybe a celery salt or something in it. So there's a lot of ways of really dressing up your salad to make it interesting. And another thing I do also is I like to eat some kind of fermented food because it's good for your digestion. So I get, I get some kind of I've been using wakame kimchi. I put like a couple of tablespoons. After I make my meal, I put a few tablespoons in the bowl, and that's sort of, I get some fermented food, and it's very tasty.
What was the first word? Wakame?
Wakame, it's a type of seaweed. So this particular, it's got cabbage with. There's a lot of different types of kimchis. They have them in the bulk section of Rainbow, and you can check them out. And they also have jars of a lot of different kinds. You can just check out, or you can make your own.
You just take those things and mix it in with your salad at the last minute?
Well, the fermented I just put in a corner, and then I eat, and then I'll take a little, because it's really a real pungent flavor. So, okay, so this is about how much salad I have here. And, another thing I throw on my salad at the last minute is I buy microgreens at the farmer's market, and you'll see them. They'll be on the salad that they hand out to you. And I love sunflower sprouts. So I throw that on also at the last minute. So
Are you buying those at the market, or are you sprouting those yourself?
yeah, I'm not doing it myself. My friend Janie here, she sprouts. And but I don't. I just find I'm kind of too busy. I'm not really set up for it. But I was getting from Natural Trader, buying the bag, but then I feel like the quality has kind of gone down, and I found this lady at the farmer's market now who sells them, and I like, they're really deep green, and they just look a lot better. So the one at Alamany, I pretty much go to the one at Alamany, but they're all over, you know. So yes.
Microgreens, you mean like pea sprouts or what exactly?
Yeah, all kinds of seeds sprouted, like arugula, let's see, broccoli. I mean, any kind of
Sprouts, you mean? Broccoli sprouts?
broccoli sprouts, yeah. Yeah.
And pea sprouts?
Yeah, there are pea sprouts too, yeah.
What else would you consider microgreen?
Well, any kind of seed that you sprout, we consider a microgreen. Because you get a lot more nutrient from the microgreens. You know, you get more, you know, more of a punch of nutrients. But they are very perishable, so I keep them in the fridge separate, and I just add them to my salad every day. I don't have to chop them up or anything. It's just a matter of just, you know, tossing some in. So this is the bok choy stalks. I just cut them like that. Throw these on first. I usually buy it at Rainbow. Like, I don't, once in a while I'll see it at the farmer's market, but it's hard for me to find organic bok choy. And I like the mature, with the really big stalks. You know, most people are into the baby bok choy because they saute it and they like that, you know. And,
Where do you buy the ceramic knife?
this particular one came from Bed Bath & Beyond. Okay, it's a Cuisinart.
How much was it?
Now, this is a Cuisinart.
Do you remember how much it was?
Yeah, it was $29, and if you've got the 20 off coupon, it's like $24. You really can't beat it for a ceramic knife. And plus, it comes with the sheath, which I've never, you know, the knives don't usually come with a sheath like
It
this.
doesn't ship? No shipping?
You know, I've had this for about 4 months. I think they all will chip eventually. I don't see any chips on it right now.
Is there a reason that you chop and don't use a food processor to make salad?
You know, I just never got into using it. I mean, I use a food processor for some things, but it seems like it chops it, like really minces it. And I don't really want it minced. I just sort of want bite-sized pieces. Especially for this, I want to bite into it and get that juice, you know, kind of, yeah.
Make your own sprouts?
I don't make my own sprouts, no. Another thing I have every day, well, this doesn't have to do with the salad, but I always have wheatgrass every day. I have about 2 ounces of wheatgrass, and I buy that at the farmer's market. The lady, she'll actually cut a tray for me and put it in a bag, and I just, because, so I get that every week because I feel like that's got so many good vitamins in it and stuff, and this way I kind of feel like I don't have to depend on supplements. I'm really trying to get away from supplements.
What machine do you make your wheatgrass in?
Let's see. I juice my wheatgrass. I have an Omega juicer.
Omega upright or?
Let's see. It's a horizontal.
Uh-huh.
It's a horizontal. You can get a healthy juicer. Is that yeah, a healthy? It's a plastic juicer. It's about $50, I think. And that, you get a lot of juice out of the wheatgrass with that. The Omega juicer, you don't get as much, and I have to put the pulp back in again. But, you know.
It's called a healthy juicer? That's the brand name?
That's the brand name. It's a manual plastic juicer, yeah. Janie?
Yeah, actually, if you're interested, Hippocrates is one of the auditorium vendors, and they're selling the healthy juicers. So I don't know if you can get a good price, but it's usually about $50.
How long does a flat of wheatgrass last? Do you have half a flat or a whole flat? 12 ounce, 16 ounce?
Well, I get,
What size tray?
all I know is I get a tray. I can't,
Large size or the small?
I guess it's like this. I really don't know. I don't, She cuts it for me, and it's a bag like this, and I do it over 6 days.
6 days?
Yeah, on Saturday I don't have time to juice because I'm running to the farmer's market. So, no, it doesn't really work. Yeah. So now I'm cutting up, let's see, the cucumbers. Let's see, so this lasts 4 days. So about twice a week, I have to make this big thing. And it's kind of an ordeal, I guess, but I'm only doing it once every 4 days. So, and I always make fresh dressing because that makes such a difference. I mean, there's just no comparison between fresh dressing and bottled dressing. And
What do you put in your dressing?
well, the dressing, I made a Hippocrates dressing for today because it's basically an oil dressing, and I figure most people like oil dressings, so I kind of made it for what most people like. What I make for myself is called a creamy tahini dressing. It's got raw tahini in it, lemon, water, let's see, cumin, a little cayenne, garlic, onion, ginger. Am I missing anything? And then I blend it all up, and then I get fresh dill because I love dill, and I throw that in and I just pulse it a few times so I have little green specks in it. And the raw tahini has a lot of good calcium in it. So, and I just find it very tasty, but to some people it might be a little too strong or a little too rich. So, but like I say, if you're raw and your salad is your main meal, I think you're more apt to like the creamy dressing so that it's more filling.
What other salad dressings do you do?
I only do those two. I mean, I used to.
The other one?
Oh, it's called the Hippocrates dressing.
Hippocrates?
Hippocrates dressing. It has lemon. Let's see, lemon, oil, water, garlic, namashoyu, some mustard. Mustard adds a nice zing to it.
What kind of oil?
I use olive oil.
So you mix it each time? You don't use that like a week's worth?
Oh, I do. Yeah, I make a big batch of dressing.
Oh, you do? So
I-
once a week?
You know what? It's probably about every 4 days. Yeah, but when you put like things like dill and fresh vegetables in, you got to realize that they're going to decompose. So you don't want to go too long. No, it won't last as long, but it's, if you don't have a lot of time, you can a simple dressing is so fast. It really is. So I happen to like this red pepper. It adds a little sweetness to it. And I don't always put tomatoes in, but they're in season right now. And at the Alameda market, they have what's called dry farm tomatoes, which means they don't water them. So the roots go down deeper and they get more minerals. And I just think they're the best tasting tomatoes you can get. They don't look like much. They're just little simple. They don't get that big. And they sometimes have a little funky thing on the bottom that the vendor told me that's because they're picking up minerals or something.
Yeah, Allegheny, where's that?
Allegheny, the Allegheny Farmers Market, or Alamany. No, she's asking the name of the farmer's market.
Yeah, where is it?
Dry farmed. They're just dry farmed tomatoes. Yeah. It's Alamany and Putnam. Yeah, so when the tomatoes are not in season at the farmer's market, I don't usually buy them. Instead I'll put red peppers. If the red peppers get too expensive, I stop buying them. You know, I'm just constantly looking for, when I go to the farmer's market, I just look for what's in season. It's usually cheaper and it's usually a lot tastier. When things start getting expensive, they're usually going out of season and they're really not that good. So, anyways, the peppers and tomatoes add a lot of color. So, let's see.
Tomatoes are great.
Yeah, and you know, they're so easy to cut with this knife. They don't, you know, how you sometimes it squirts at you because it's just not cutting. But this, it took me a while to get used to it because it's a really light knife compared to other knives. But now that I'm used to it, if I pick up another knife, it just feels so heavy. And when it's a Cuisinart. Cuisinart, yeah. So.
Is it called chef's knife?
I don't know. It just says Cuisinart Elements.
Cuisinart Element?
That's what it says.
Where do you get the discounts for Bed Bath & Beyond?
You know, you get them in the mail. You know, they send regular coupons. And I didn't know about it till this summer. I went back east to visit some family, and I thought I had brought my knife, and I didn't. So I ran into Bed Bath & Beyond, and I was really surprised that they had this knife for so cheap. And I thought, wow.
How long did your previous
You know, I still have them.
Oh, so they don't wear out.
I still have them. I just, and I tend to keep them for backup, you know, or I don't know, one I gave to a friend. Now there is one I gave to a friend that kind of got dull. I don't know what happened to it. So she's going to have to get that one sharpened.
You don't do them on a knife sharpener regularly like you do with this?
No, because, yeah, it's ceramic, and I don't know how they do it, but it's not like metal. I guess so, you know, I think so. I've never done it, and my friend knew somebody who knows how to sharpen them, and he did it for us, so.
But they last, 5 to 10 years before they need sharpening.
Yeah, yeah.
You can actually sharpen ceramic.
You have to send it back.
Okay, so here's the tomato, and like I said, I usually put it on just before I make my salad, but I'm just making it now. So another thing I do, is I put radish. I like to use my spiralizer. This little gadget here is a spiralizer, and it's really nice because you can take a vegetable like this, and it's got a blade so that it's a spiralizer. And no, this is a daikon radish. And like you could actually do this with zucchini. You could make zucchini noodles and put it in a dehydrator to sort of dry it a little, give it the texture of pasta. And ginger's a little too tough, I think. This I got, everything I get at Rainbow, I know. I got it on Rainbow when they still had those days when you got 20% off.
Yeah.
So this is $60, but I got it for, $20 off. This is called Cook Help. It's from Japan. There's a lot of spiralizers out there. Yeah, and you need, I bought one and it really wasn't what it was cracked up to be. I was very disappointed. But this one I heard was really good. It really is good. It really works. So, if you, if you buy a spiralizer, like check it out first. I don't know, find someone who has one or something because they're not all what they're cracked up to be. I use it, me personally, I use it for radish, and I have used it to make zucchini noodles. So I have extra stuff. Anytime I have extra stuff, it goes in, I juice it in the morning, so I don't waste anything. And if it can't be juiced, then it goes in my compost pile. So, yeah, I try to make use of everything.
How is it red radish? I've never had a daikon.
How does it compare?
Yeah, I've never had it.
I don't know how to describe the difference. I think, they're both got that radishy flavor. I don't know.
It's all in the back. So there's like three types of black instead
How close are you to serving?
You can serve anytime.
Okay, we're going to do it.
Yeah, you can serve anytime.
That's the fourth low black. So it's really, and it actually supports teeth. A lot of times as people get older, they tend to eat fat.
So this is how it comes out. And you can get, there's actually an attachment in here. I'll show you. You can there's like 3 different attachments, so you can get different size. Or you can do it without the teeth, and then you'll get like just like a flat strip kind of. And I usually sort of chop it up so it's not all like a long noodle. And I throw that on top. So this is kind of what, this is a 4 days worth of salad. And let's see. Yeah, but I can tell you again. So then I just put this on and I stick it in the fridge.
You don't toss it.
No, I don't toss it till just before I eat it. And
To mix the different elements.
Yeah, I do mix it up. But I wait till the day that I eat it, and I add my sprouts, my avocado, and I mix it up, and I throw some dulse flakes, and I put some either raw sauerkraut or kimchi or something on the side. And I'm sorry, what? Oh, that dressing is biryani oil. Olive oil. So you wanted to know what was in the dressing that you're having today? It's oil, it's lemon, let's see, some nama shoyu, garlic, let's see, what else? It's slipping me. There's a little water, mustard. I got organic mustard. That gives it kind of a punch. And it's a very simple dressing to make. I mean, it's really easy.
So it's not mustard seeds, it's
No, it's organic mustard. Yes. Olive oil.
It's really good.
Oh, thank you. Oh, the creamy tahini. I put like raw tahini, which is rather expensive, but I feel it's so nutritious that I feel it's worth it. So it's raw tahini, water, lemon juice, garlic, ginger, onion, cumin, and a little cayenne. And I blend it all, and then you can add something like dill or parsley or basil. I happen to like dill. And I just add that. I blend the dressing, and then I put the dill in, and I just give it a few shots just so I have little green specks through the whole thing. If you want these recipes, you could sign a sheet, put your email, and I'll email you the recipes. Yeah. So another thing I do, because I buy a lot of produce, and like this is parsley, which is pretty hardy, but for things like dill And I get carrot tops. Sometimes the vendors are selling carrots and people don't want the greens on top of the carrot tops. So I ask if I can have them. I usually get them for free. And I put them in my green drinks so that I get different greens, and they say there's actually more nutrition in the greens on the carrot than the carrot. Although some people are allergic to it, but I'm not. And they're very delicate foliage, and they'll go limp really easily. So my friend taught me to chop off the bottom of the stem and put it in a jar with water and put a plastic bag over it with a rubber band, and this will keep for a good 2 weeks.
Is that parsley?
This is parsley. But things like, actually I do this to all my greens. I do it to kale, collards. Even my lettuce, I cut off a little sliver and put it in a bowl. And I find that, my produce doesn't go bad. I'm not throwing it out. I'm actually using it. Because, a lot of people don't really want to buy herbs because you use it once, and the next time you look in the fridge, it's like dead, and you just gotta throw it out.
Covering it with plastic bags?
I do cover it with plastic bag, yeah.
Put it in water in a glass container?
I put water. It's just like, if you bring in cut flowers, you want them to last, you put water in the jar, right?
You change the water?
Right.
You change the water?
Whenever I go and I use some, I do dump the water and put fresh water in. Yeah, it is a good idea to change the water. So, let me see. I can't think of anything else unless you have questions.
So the carrot top, how much do you put in? Do you use it like you would use dill or?
Oh, the carrot tops I put in my green drink in the morning. It's the green drink. No, I don't find them too appetizing in a salad. But basically, I just hope this gives you ideas for things that you like that you never thought of putting in salads. Because if you're thinking of a raw diet, you're going to probably be eating a lot of salads, and you want to make it interesting. Yeah. So,
Everyone, we'd like to give you a gift as you're leaving. This is our recipe book. It's from the old days, but everything's still good, and we'd like to give it to you as you're walking out. And let me remind you that if you guys live in San Francisco or anywhere where you'd like to come to San Francisco, we make stuff like this, what you're eating, every second Sunday of the month from 1 to 4, and I could give you the address where you could email us or call me or something. I live in a co-op near here in Japantown, and it's kind of in the middle of the complex. So I'll give you the address if you want, or I'll give you my email and my phone number, or all. But we have a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun, and if you don't know how to cook raw food, if you don't know how to prepare raw foods, you could come and donate $12 and eat all of ours, or you call me and maybe we can make something before and bring it. It's not. It's besides this wonderful salad, it's other elaborate things too.
yeah.
Yeah, and Megan's here, and Janie's here. Janie, raise your hand. So
Janie.
approach us, if you want afterwards to tell. And Judy, you've come, right? Some of you, and the coconut come, so we can approach any of us. Let me give you a piece of paper, okay?
Yeah, a piece of paper, and then, yeah. Yeah, a good way to find good recipes, because I always find I'm not good at looking at cookbooks.
What kind of vegetable
Oh,
is
that's
that?
the purslane. That's
the purslane?
no, that's sunflower, but the
This
big
is sunflower.
but the flat leaf, that's the purslane. Yeah, show it to the people who don't know. Yeah, so anyways, going to potlucks is a good way to find a dish you like, and you can ask whoever made it for the recipe. To me, it's a lot nicer than going through a lot of recipes you don't really like.
Can I ask you about this? You have a silicone top on that thing?
Yeah, this is some. Well, I just got it, so I used to like.
To make a good seal.
It makes a very good seal. They don't recommend trying to pick it up like this. It will, But yeah, it's airtight.
I saw that because it's not plastic. You're not introducing plastic when you do silicone.
No. I got it at Rainbow. I get so much at Rainbow. Yes. Yeah, and there's other places, probably Bed Bath & Beyond has them. You can get smaller, and I think you're supposed to be able to use them on frying pans and stuff too. So they can take a lot of heat, but they're also safe for covers on raw food.
They have them, in the department stores and the department stores where they have the pots.
Right. So thank you very much for coming, and I hope to see you at our potlucks. Okay.